Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, in deck number 567, we're going to talk about Vadrok, the Apex of Thunder. It's a shame there's no Apex of Lightning. They could partner with. And anyway, for a blue, red, white, we get a 3/3 flying first strike with Mutate 4 assorted those colors. Whenever this creature mutates, by the way, I love that technology. I hope they continue referring to this creature, even on things where mutate doesn't work. But you may cast target non-creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from the yard without paying its mana cost. So this is another one of those decks that you want to play creatures and you want to play non-creatures. So you got to find that good split there. Because every time Vadrok mutates, you get something for the free from the yard. So, I guess the first thing that we'll do is we will go through the mutating cards, the mutate creatures. Now, we have, besides Vadrok, we have 8 other mutating creatures. We have Dreamtail Heron. That way when it mutates, you get to draw a card. We have Cloud Piercer. Mutates, you discard and draw. Really like that. It helps fill the graveyard up with those low CMC cards. Cub Warden gets you some blockers. Mutates, you get 2 cats. Pouncing Shore Shark. That mutates, you bounce an opponent's creature. Lord Dracus. It's going to be hard for me not to call this Lord Dracus. Was that the Kim Possible villain? No, that was Draken. Okay. Anyway. Return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. That also works. The whole thing of getting stuff back. We got the Huntmaster Liger. +X, where X is the number of times it's mutated. It's not bad. Even if it's just a +1, that's still not bad. We have the Regal Leosaur. +2/+1, not bad. And then our last one is Volcapede. Put a 1/1 counter on it every time it mutates, so that's not bad. So let's look at the cards that the creatures we're going to mutate onto. Now, obviously, none of these are humans because you cannot mutate onto a human. But let's get some of the surprising ones first. Ornithopter. Now, that's right. I am not above mutating on a free flyer. Because this way, Vadrok has flying. In this case, you put the Vadrok on top so that, he has all of Vadrok's abilities plus flying. Now, flying gets us some places. We have the Sunblade Angel, which has got 4 keywords. While not the greatest rate at 6 mana for the 3/3, those 4 keywords is pretty good stuff to mutate onto. Now, I didn't do Zatalpa. It's just a little too expensive for the deck, I think. We have, more flying in Suntail Hawk. Here again, Suntail Hawk, not an amazing card. But on turn 1, keep in mind, we would like to mutate it on our commander on turn 4 when, on curve, kind of. But I think my favorite one is Soltari Emissary. Now, Shadow is it's not the perfect creature ability, but it's real close. But Soltari Emissaries is. Because the problem with Shadow is, if you give the creature Shadow, yeah, it's unblockable for the most part. But you also can't block with it. But now, if you mutate on top of the Emissary here, you can spend a white to make it have Shadow so that you can bust through that turn. But you can still have the creature to block with. Now, that's not to say I did include a Soltari Foot Soldier because it's like the Suntail Hawk in the 1 mana cool ability that you want to mutate onto. Of course, we have the Mysterious Egg. Sprite Dragon. You cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So, and it has flying and haste. So if we mutate to the top of this, whoa, yeah. And we're getting to play back those non-creature spells when it mutates. It's almost like they planned it that way, didn't it? We have Ugin's Conjure. Now, this one I really like simply because those +1/+1 counters are on the creature as a whole. And the whole damage prevention thing. Kind of sweet. Tidal Barracuda is in there for not so much to mutate on top of, but just to have it in play. And yeah, I mean, if it's what we mutate on, hey, that's fine. But this way we get to mutate at flash speed, which will help us later on when you see other cards. And the last card is, of course, the Cephalid Constable, because who don't like drawing a crazy amount of cards? I'm sorry. Not drawing cards. It's the wrong one. Focus up. To return to X target permanents. Now, it does not say non-land permanents, so you can really hose somebody if they have so earned that. Where X is... Yeah, because... I mean, Vadrok's 3 by itself, so that's 3. Anyway, let's look at some ramp real quick. Sure, why not? We'll go through this pretty quick because this is the usual suspects of Soul Ring, Boros Signet, Arcane Signet, Izzet Signet. Now, Spectral Searchlight. Now, these next 4 are ones, they cost 3 or less, and they're non-creatures, so we can get them back. They're all placed themselves in the graveyard somehow, like with Jeskai Banner, if you don't need it, you can sack it to draw a card. The Locket, you can sack to draw 2 cards, get it back. The Roggen Crystal, you can just cycle. It gets you the card advantage up front, and then you can get it back. And then, of course, the Commander Sphere. Sure, why not? What are we calling this? Card draw? Now, we have stuff like Tormenting Voice. Pretty good, like, Faithless Looting. I'd be running it if I had another copy. But it gets cards in the graveyard. It gets you cards in hand and cards in the graveyard, and you kind of want both with this deck. Kind of the same way of, Thrill of Possibility, Frantic Search. Now, Opt, Preordain, Anticipate, just winged words, just straight card draw. That's exactly what it is. Winged words is most of the time going to cost 2 mana. If it's in the graveyard, though, it doesn't really matter. Secrets of the Dead, though, that's another good card draw spell. When we mutate, we get to cast that card from our graveyard, and we can draw a card. The Royal Scions, I kind of like here. It does cost 3, so if we can get it back, you draw it and discard for a plus, and that's outstanding. The other +2 first strike and trample, that is strong. Anyway. So let's look at some removal. Now, here again, these are cards that we... whoa, I knocked my camera. We can get back with our Vadrok ability. We have Chaos Warp. I mean, why not, right? The Citywide Bust, I like that they included this in the Commander set because it is a board wipe that we can get back. Now, the problem with Mutate is... Where are we? Oh, okay. The problem with Mutate is, if you've got a stack of Mutate creatures, you set yourself up being 2 for 1. So, or 3 for 1, or however many creatures are in that stack. A simple Doomblade kind of makes it a bad day. That's why we've got stuff like Rescue. In case somebody's trying to kill the stack, I'm going to bring that creature, that permanent, to my hand. And because it's all one creature, the whole stack goes to the hand. So, Rescue, Chain of Vapor. What else do we have here? I really like Savine's Reclamation here. Now, target permanent card with CMC 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. If this spell was cast from a graveyard, you may copy the spell and choose new targets for the copy. What? Yeah. Pretty neat. So we're never going to play the flashback because the flashback exiles it. So we want the ability to be able to replay this over and over again. So I guess cards we want to be able to use over and over again. I would like to use Termod's Crypt a bunch. It meets all the criteria. It's non-creature, 3 or less. It's going to be in the graveyard because it puts itself in the graveyard just to use it. And you can just continually nuke everybody else's graveyard. Yeah. Y'all don't tell Aaron. Ethereal Haze. It's kind of, Now, check this one out. Psychotic Fury. Now, granted, this is pretty much in there for just the commander because that looks like how we're going to win. That's our primary win condition is Vadrok commander damage. And there's no part of this that's not amazing for this deck. Vadrok's multicolor. I would love to give it double strike. I love to draw cards. It costs 2 so I can get it back. So I can mutate it, get the Psychotic Fury back, and cast the Psychotic Fury yet again. It's reusable. It's beautiful. Now, Whirlwind of Thought. Yeah, I don't have really a category here. I'm just off the top of my head. Whirlwind of Thought. Kind of neat. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you draw a card. So, yeah. But now, this is an Ikoria card that snuck up on me. I'm telling you what, I don't know how I missed this. Now, we have all played with cards like just Demystify. But this is insane. Yeah, it would take a very special circumstance for us to choose the Gain 4 life option. Even still, it's a strict upgrade to Healing Salve, which is not hard to do. But anyway, so you have the choice of destroy target enchantment or put a 1/1 counter on target creature. This is just, 3 kinds of utility here. This is a white charm. Oh, I love it. We've got Delusion there to tap all the creatures without flying, because more than likely we're going to have flying on Vadrok. The 2 Shiny Impetus, Martial Impetus, and Psychic Impetus. If you'll notice, all of those cost 3 or less. Well, they all cost 3. Celestial Purge. Good removal that is reusable with the Vadrok ability. Now, I mean, we've got some counterspell action like Negate and Dovan's Veto and Fierce Guardianship. Those are good, don't get me wrong. But you've got to have the Flash Eel out in order to make all that happen. Now, I'm going to try to pull this camera back here a little bit. Come on now. Reposition, because they were stacking up and I'm using the weird tripod still. Now, let's see. Jeskai Ascendancy, I thought we kind of needed in the deck. You cast a non-creature spell, untap the creatures, they get bigger, but you draw a card. Yeah, pretty good stuff. I'd love to be able to use a few core cards over and over, like Disenchant, Lightning Helix, Incinerate. I mean, come on. Keep Safe. Targets permanent you control, and you draw a card. So, kind of like that. The Jeskai Charm, having 3 options, all of which could be totally useful in the deck. Flawless Maneuver. I love this. In this particular deck, you want your commander. if your commander's not out, then you really don't care. If your stuff gets destroyed. But indestructible either turn. And our last non-land card is Fight to the Death. Now, I love Fight to the Death, and it's in there simply because I love, y'all know this, longtime watchers will know that I love to meddle in combats that don't involve me. So if you got player 2 and player 3 and they're locked up in combat, this is a 2-mana kill a whole bunch of creatures. Right? So let's look at our land suite here. We have got Battlefield Forge. We've got Prairie Stream, Shivan Reef, Windscarred Crag, Stone Quarry, Sajiri Refuge, Meandering River, Azorus Guildgate, Tranquil Cove, Izzet Guildgate, Swiftwater Cliffs, Transguild Promenade, Evolving Wilds, Mystic Monastery, Rupture Spire, Rogren Trial? Sure, that's what we'll call it. Rogue's Passage, and lastly the Command Tower. Now, one thing that I do is that I would love to have a Command Tower for every deck, or especially every 2+ color deck. I don't do that because I don't have that many Command Towers. So I kind of keep my Command Tower usage for 3 colors or more. That's just personally what I do. But that is what we have got for Vadrok. Now, I hadn't had a chance to play this yet. I look forward to playing it. Basic lands. I'll have to shuffle that. But that's Vadrok. And so let's see if we can do this. Oh, come on now. Go over here. Oh, got a real close up of the finger, didn't we? So, 567 is done. Vadrok's going to the wall. And I hit my toe. Anyway, I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all let me know what you think. But right now, it's time to shuffle and cut.